By Chris Dishman.
Wait a second.
Wait a minute.
It
Freeman
bounced
picked
into
it up.
Freeman's hands.
It bounced into his hand. Bounced into his hand. Bounced into his hand. He takes it in the end zone.
We win.
Touchdown. Packers win. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I
Wayne, it was meant to be.
Welcome to Tampa, where the dream of seeing their Buccaneers in the Super Bowl lives on. The Bucs have won 2 in a row and face a tough divisional matchup with the Packers today. Minnesota, on top of the NFC Central, has already won. Detroit is still battling Atlanta. It sets up a great matchup this afternoon in Tampa. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the NFL on Fox. I'm Sam Rosen along with Bill Moss. Well, we saw the Green Bay Packers pull off a miracle win over Minnesota Monday night in Green Bay, but that game won't mean anything if they don't win today, Bill.
Yeah, you know, they're hoping a play like that can re-energize this group and carry them through the season, and sometimes that can happen. But also, Mike Sherman knows the one thing they have to do down here against the Bucs is to protect the quarterback, Brett Favre. He is their only lifeline of a chance today. It's going to be in his hands. And it all started 2 years ago, the really changing of the tide. In the last 4 games against the Bucs, they've dumped him 18 times, and you can see the numbers that the defensive line has going this year. They've got to protect their quarterback.
Well, we've seen the Buccaneers defense at work, but it's the offense that's playing well right now. After a 4-game losing streak, the Bucs have won their last 2, and the offense is playing well.
You know, there was a feeling out process there with Les Steckel, the new offensive coordinator, and his team. They were feeling him out, he was feeling them out, and they were trying to find out what they're good at. The one thing they found that they're good at is running with Warwick Dunn. Now, they used to have to make their own holes, and that was with Allstott. But now, with some new linemen up front, with Christie and McDaniel, and with Keyshawn Johnson outside, they can now get Warwick Dunn to the perimeter. And if you get Warwick Dunn in space, that's a great chance for him to bust a 25, 30-yard gainer.
Okay, it's a big divisional matchup. The 5-4 Buccaneers against the 4-5 Packers. The Bucs defense knows it's a big one.
Check it in, dog. Let's check it in. Let's go. Let's go. Ah! Check it in. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. This is what I'm getting ready to tell you. You don't have to wait to make a play. Don't wait on somebody else. You be the guy to go make the play. Whether it be on special teams, whatever you do, man, you be the guy to make the play today. All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Day weekend, the B-2 Stealth Bomber flying by over Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. Wow. Earlier today in the NFL, of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who keep such an even keel, even when the team was down and lost 4 in a row. Never lost his cool, kept his team focused and ready to make a move in this second half, Bill.
And that's the way he's been all the time, Sam. If you look back since he's been down here as a head coach, he just is even keel and he gets his group ready. And it's about this time of year he gets this group to push forward and get them peaking at the playoffs.
First-year head coach Mike Sherman trying to get his team adapted and trying to deal with all the injuries that they have had.
Yeah, and that's an excellent point. And I think he's done an outstanding job of that, of keeping this group fired up and working and working and working. You lose, Vaughn.
All right, gentlemen, we have a special coin today.
That's tough to overcome.
This is the heads. This is the tail. This
Set
is
for
honor
the
and
coin
Veterans
toss.
Day.
Jeff Triplett is the referee.
Heads is the call of Green Bay. Heads is the call. It is a head. You want the football? Stay right where you are. Green Bay won the toss. We'll receive. Good luck.
All right. You heard it. And the sellout crowd is ready here in Tampa for another big matchup between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Green Bay Packers.
Super Bowl 35 and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Packers pumped up. Down through the years, they've done very well against Tampa Bay, but the last 4 games have been split. Brett Favre 13-3 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And we mentioned it, you know, the one thing that Tampa Bay has done is when Tony Dungy came in here, he said the road through the NFC is through Green Bay. And he identified that, and he identified Brett Favre as the kingpin. So he went out and he got this fast, lightning fast defense with #1 draft choices up front that applied pressure to the quarterback. And Brett Favre has been on the receiving end of all those guys from the last 4 games they've played.
John McLaughlin rousing up the fans here. Brett Favre getting ready to make his entrance.
You know, and on the other end of that, Sam, Green Bay lost those guys up front that used to protect them. They lost an Aaron Taylor. They lost an Adam Timmerman. They lost Joe Andruzzi. You know, and they always had to plug in these new guys, and that makes it real tough when you're going against Sapp and company.
Crowd is excited, on its feet, ready for the opening kickoff. Yet another sellout crowd. Allen Rossum is deep. Martin Gramatica kicks off a low line drive that Rossum takes on a bounce from the 7. Trying to get outside. Brian Kelly was there to help force him out of bounds at the 29-yard line. The Packers on offense. Brett Favre protecting the ball better. Has had only 1 interception in the last 3 games. His offensive line, he's got 2 rookies at the tackles. Chad Clifton is starting his 4th straight. Mark Tauscher his 8th straight. Antonio Freeman made the miracle catch to beat Minnesota. Amon Green is now the featured back with Dorsey Levens out. There is Antonio Freeman, who made the marvelous catch. The #1 receiver is in motion. Amon Green gets a couple of yards, took a big hit from John Lynch. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, one of the outstanding defenses in the NFL. They lead the NFL with 41 sacks. Warren Sapp has 10.5. Marcus Jones has 10. The linebacker Shelton Quarles missed last week with a groin injury. He's back. Derek Brooks, the leading tackler. Donnie Abraham has 6 interceptions. Rondé Barber has 5.5 sacks. 2 tight ends in for Green Bay. The play fake by Favre. Shovel pass to Ryan Wetnight. Gets up across the 36-yard line. Thrown back by Shelton Quarles, number 53.
Stopped by Quarles, Barber.
You take a look up front. We're going to watch this matchup all day. And there goes the center. He slides over, and he's going to get a piece of Booger McFarland. And they run that thing, and they get the ends, the defensive ends, sucked inside. They get him coming inside, and then they came outside, and they little shovel pass. Now, Wetnight has been missed. He's been hurt a little bit, Sam. He's had that hamstring injury. But the tight end position for the Packers is one that needs a boost.
Packers with 3 wide receivers. Bucks have 5 defensive backs. Freeman in motion. Barber went with him. Outside, and the catch, a beauty by Freeman, is good for a first down.
Pass complete to number 86.
Short pickup, but good enough for a first down. Antonio Freeman, the leading receiver. They feel that he's been up and down this season, but maybe Monday night's game will give him a boost, Bill.
Yeah, they're hoping that that whole thing transcends into a push down the stretch. He is the leader of this offense as far as the receiver goes, other than Brett Favre. He's a guy that they rely on for big plays, and he has to make those big plays on a more consistent basis. He's been under scrutiny for the big contract, the money he's got. Fans been down on him a little bit. They're hoping that that catch will elevate him up.
They stay with 3 wides. Amon Green hit hard again. The middle linebacker, Jamie Duncan, with the tackle after a short pickup a couple of yards by Amon Green.
Well, that one word that goes with the Tampa Bay Bucks defense is fast. And there's number 59, and he's just flowing behind the line of scrimmage, which is occupied by McFarland, by Ahanotu, by Jones and Sapp. And it makes it so easy for those fast linebackers just to run sideline to sideline behind them, and they're going to clean up anything that hits the perimeter.
2 tight ends in for the Packers. Bubba Franks comes in motion. Tyrone Davis split left. On 2nd and 7. Favre gets rid of it, and it's caught by Antonio Freeman. Another first down for the Packers in Bucks territory at the 47.
86, Antonio Freeman.
Brett Favre took a shot on that play by Quarles. He just got that ball off. And watch the way he throws. He feels Quarles off his backside. He gets that thing out, and he knows he's going to take that shot. But that's what Brett Favre does. Watch all the different angles of where he throws the ball with his arm. He saw the opening, and he fired that thing as quick as he can so he could get out of the way of the rush.
William Henderson in at fullback. Favre a quick 3 for 3 to start the game. Amon Green straight ahead. couple of yards at a time. And one thing the Packers talked about was being patient with the running game.
Well, and not to get away from it. And sometimes that's tough to do. When you have Brett Favre in there and you used to throw the ball, here they run an ISO. And what they want to try to do is they want to try to tack downhill. You see Henderson in there. You see Henderson in there leading it up.
We welcome those of you who are watching the Detroit Lions and the Atlanta Falcons. Detroit coming from behind to win it 13-10 for new head coach Gary Moeller. Go to 6-4. Sam Rosen, Bill Moss here in Tampa. The Packers on a 2nd and 8. After taking the opening kickoff, swing it out to Ahman Green across the 40-yard line down to the 39. A couple of yards short of the first down marker. Donnie Abraham with a tackle.
And that's another way Green can help out, you know, because that play right there, Sam, is equivalent to a run in this offense. So when you say that Ahman Green needs to get yards, they don't necessarily all have to be with a handoff and running right at this Bucs defense. You catch it, you get outside, and it puts you in 3rd and short, and that's what you like.
One thing they're concerned about is fumbling. He covered that one.
That's what got him out of Seattle.
Here's 3rd and 2 for the Packers. Favre outside, no. Schrader didn't read the play and didn't turn. Time for an update on Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. Let's go to JB. Sam. Thanks, JB. Hey, that's been a great game in Pittsburgh. Philadelphia trying to go to 6-4. Josh Bidwell, the punt it away. High kick, waving for a fair catch. Carl Williams lets it bounce at the 5, and it rolls into the end zone. It just got by Allen Rossum. Now it was punched out. And flags are flying all over the place as John Lynch picked it up and is running into the end zone. There are flags all over the place. Was that ball down in the end zone?
Well, I thought he was touched in the end zone.
What appeared to be a touchback.
Too many men. Defense. Too many men. Offense. Both teams had players come off the bench during the loose ball. The result, it was an offset and a replay by rule.
Wow, that's one I've never seen before.
Well, what happened was, he's exactly right. When that ball went into the end zone, both guys on the sideline, both teams on the sidelines, thought the play was over. And so they came out onto the field. McGarrahan picked the ball up, and the official did not blow it dead.
There you see Tampa Bay Buccaneers players on the field.
There's no challenge on the play by Tampa Bay.
That was as bizarre a play as you'll ever see.
Well, McGarrahan never should have thrown it back into the field of play. He held it for a second. The play wasn't blown dead.
Right.
And he threw it back in. Lynch picked it up alertly.
So each team with players going onto the field anticipating a touchback. So the play is negated and they'll punt again. Carl Williams goes back deep.
Williams deep to receive.
Special teams coach Joe Marciano of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bidwell tries again. High kick. Heading for the corner. Rossum bats it down, and it's covered by the Packers on the 2-yard line. This time Rossum with a great play. 38-yard punt down by Allen Rossum with a terrific effort. Keeps it in play. Packers back up the Bucs. Raymond James Stadium.
Well, this is the first punt.
Right.
And Allen Rossum missed the first one, and McGarrahan grabs it right there. Now, he possesses it. Now, that is the kicking team. That ball should have been blown dead right there, and there never should have been a return, and there never should have been the extra to 12 men on the field. And now they're backed up. They got a chance to re-kick it. Now the Bucs are backed up on their 2.
First time on offense, Sean King at quarterback for the Bucs. Keyshawn Johnson went in motion. Straight ahead, Mike Allstott bounced off a couple of players and busts his way across the 5 out to the 7-yard line. Sean King, they want him to spread the ball around. Last 2 games, 7 touchdown passes, just 1 interception thrown. The offensive line, Randall McDaniel and Jeff Christie have made a big difference to that line. Chuck Wes Green leads in yardage amongst receivers. Keyshawn Johnson, 41 receptions. Warwick Dunn and Mike Allstott, the 2 running backs. Keyshawn in motion. Allstott again. First down, up near the 20. Allstott using his niftiness and his power, a great combination, gets it out to the 20-yard line.
Well, yeah, we talk about blocking the perimeter and getting what Keyshawn Johnson brings to the fold of the perimeter. Keyshawn Johnson came down and got into Leroy Butler, the strong safety, and just drove him right out of the picture that time. And Allstott was able to work his way outside. That's what number 19 means to this Bucs offense, not just going deep and catching passes.
Dave Moore shifts the tight end. The play fake, the shovel out to Warwick Dunn. Picked up a couple before he was wrapped up by Niall Diggs, the rookie strong side linebacker. The Packers on defense. Santana Dotson, former Buccaneer. Clevius Hunt starting for the injured Vonnie Holliday. Niall Diggs, a rookie out of Ohio State, has played well. Nate Wayne starts for the injured Brian Williams. Darren Sharper tied for the league lead with 6 interceptions. Allstott was split out. He goes in motion. And they send it out to Keyshawn Johnson. Fights his way up near the first down marker. Mike McKenzie, number 34, made the tackle. Johnson showing good strength.
Well, Allstott, you're going to see Mike Allstott lined up at a few different places. He was lined up at the bottom of the screen at wide receiver. He comes all the way across in motion. They throw a little smoke screen here, and then he gets out there and block it. He gets out in front. He gets on Butler. If you're going to move the ball against the Green Bay Packers, the 2 things you have to do are 1, get your guys movement up front, and 2, seek out Leroy Butler. And the Bucs have done that thus far. They got Keyshawn Johnson came in on him and blocked him out of there. Then they got Allstott in motion.
3rd and inches, 2 tight ends and an extra fullback in. Play fake by Sean King. Wants to go deep. He's got Dave Moore. To the Packers' 43-yard line on a 3rd and inches. Tyrone Williams brought down Dave Moore, but Moore, very versatile tight end.
Watch the play fake by Charles Kirby right here. They don't sell this thing, do they? The linebackers are up in here. They're taking it on. They think they're coming with Allstott, and then everybody's fooled, and that's what enables Dave Moore to get so free and clean downfield.
28-yard pickup. Allstott is out to the right side. Dunn the lone setback. Dunn on the delay. And maybe a yard on the play. Let's find out what's going on in Pittsburgh. Let's take it back to JB.
David Akers handling the pressure there, huh?
He's built for it. Ever since he started taking all that Taekwondo and all that stuff, he's a confident young man.
Play fake to Dunn. King goes short to Allstott. Takes half the Packers defense to take him down. Niall Diggs, the first man to hit him, down at the 40-yard line.
And the one thing I see in this Bucs offense that is starting to come into fruition from last week, I noticed it, is that you're seeing a lot of different formations. This time they're in an I back. There's Allstott leading the way out. They've seen 2 tight ends, a lot of different formation packages, a lot of movement. Now that wasn't always like that in the past. The Bucs had to do things the hard way and line up and try to smash it with Allstott. Now we're seeing a variation of things. Here we've got 4 wide.
Allstott out. Riddell Anthony in. King waiting. Nobody open. Now he gets rid of it. And it's incomplete. A leaping try by Keyshawn Johnson with Darren Sharper on him. There is a flag on the play, and it's a holding against Tampa Bay. Good pressure from John Theory.
Holding offense, number 73. They don't need his big line. Fourth down.
Frank Middleton doesn't believe it. Let's see.
There's 73 right there. You see where he's got the arm. The arm is outside the framework. And anytime you have that.
He was holding Cledius Hunt. Mark Royals, who had a pass completion to Damian Robinson last week, kicks this one short. Was aiming for the sideline and didn't get much on it. Bad kick for Royals. And not much yardage on the changeover. For the Packers, Dorsey Levens, knee surgery. They're hoping he'll be back, but the chances are slim. Vonnie Holiday missing another game with a high ankle sprain. He could be out 2 to 3 weeks. Brian Williams, he's done. And Corey Bradford missing today's game with a quad pull. He's replaced by Donald Driver.
That's the one reason I think Mike Sherman's done an outstanding job of keeping this team fighting. Heck, if you take those, that would be like taking Randy Moss out of the lineup for Minnesota.
Inside handoff, and Amon Green is thrown back. It was a 12-yard punt by Mark Royals, and the Packers taking over at the 28.
You know, they're going to keep coming back to this, but it's going to be tough yards to get because they just run into a wall there. Duncan's in the middle. Booger McFarland's there. Sapp. But they've got to keep that's what Mike Sherman was talking about, was they have to stay with it. They have to stay with it and hopefully create some kind of yards up there to keep them honest, because you don't want to get this defensive front with their ears pinned back coming after Favre on every snap.
3 wide receivers in, everybody out. Favre going long, launching it way down. Incomplete. Intended for Donald Driver. Time for an update. Let's go back to the Fox Phillips again, Bill.
Well, you know, Terry Bradshaw was talking up Trent Dilfer in the pregame show. They put it on him. Trent stepped up.
Here's 3rd and 10 for the Packers with 3 wide receivers. Favre gets time and completes it to Bill Schrader. A first down of the 45-yard line. John Lynch with the coverage. 17-yard pickup on the play.
47, John Lynch. First down, Green Bay.
Here's Billy Schrader right here. He's coming right in there. Now watch him. Watch Brett. Brett looked over that way first, and that took Donnie Abraham with him, and then he came back towards Schrader.
Schrader, a very important man for Brett Favre. 3 wide receivers for the Packers, 5 defensive backs for the Bucs. Off the play fake, Favre feels pressure, incomplete. Marcus Jones with big pressure on Brett Favre, who is getting rid of the ball quickly.
Well, you would too.
You're right.
Marcus Jones with 10 sacks, Warren Sapp with 10.5. He's coming from the top of the screen. He beats Chad Clifton just right past him on the outside, and he gets just a nick of that arm because Brett Favre had open receivers that time. He just got a piece. Marcus just got a piece of that arm. Marcus Jones has played fabulously, I believe, in the last 2 seasons. He's a guy that came in here. They tried him at a bunch of positions. Started off at nose tackle. Then they tried him at defensive tackle. And basically was on his way out the door. He's really picked his game up.
Said he had 9 toes out the door. The pitch to Amon Green. Try to cut it back. Sapp stopped him. And then he's run over by the combination of Chidi Ahanotu and John Lynch.
The penetration by Warren Sapp that time. As a defensive lineman, if you can play your game on the backside across the line of scrimmage, he is now across the line of scrimmage. And all that penetration is bound to change the direction of a game. Whether the quarterback's back there, the running back's back there. Anytime you have the freedom to be explosive as a defensive lineman and get across the line of scrimmage and play the game in their backfield, you know you're going to be a good one.
He's the difference maker for the Bucs. Loss of 7 on the play. Packers have to get to the Tampa Bay 45 for a first down. Out of the shotgun. Short to William Henderson, who dropped it. The fullback out of the backfield. Just missed it. Derek Brooks was there for Tampa Bay, and the Packers are forced to punt again.
The drop balls have been an issue for the Packers. They are not good enough offensively anymore to have the drops. There was a time where they could get away with the drops. Offensively, they're not good enough to overcome those things through the course of a game right now.
Bidwell's second punt. Carl Williams is deep for Tampa Bay. Good kick. Backpedaling is Williams to the 12. Finds a hole. Spins up to the 30-yard line. Good return for Carl Williams. 50-yard punt, 18-yard return. The Bucs locking up Allen Rossum as he tried to get downfield.
The defensive coordinator for the Packers, Mike Sherman remembered him when they played in Super Bowl 32, and he was a defensive back coach for the Broncos. And he liked so much what the Broncos defense did, it gave their offense problems. He said he wanted to bring a guy in that could run that defense for him. And Ed Donatell's 8-man fronts and that under front shooting gaps has really benefited and raised the level of play of this defense.
Sean King with 3 wide receivers. Warwick Dunn in the backfield. Short drop. Swings it out to Keyshawn Johnson. And he pulls his way up to the 39-yard line. Antoine Edwards took him down. Let's check in with JB on the Eagles in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as they go to 7-4. What a win for Philadelphia against a tough defensive team. Sean King, empty backfield out of the shotgun. Throws and completes to Jaquez Green up at the 45-yard line. Nate Wayne, who came over in a trade with Denver, starting at linebacker, made the tackle for the Packers.
And it looked like a 4 wide receiver set. It was 3 wide receivers, and they brought Ostad out in the slot as well. Les Steckel has brought some formation movement to this offense.
Sean King, good start to the game, 5 for 6, and you see the formations changing. 2 tight ends. Patrick Hape, number 82, shifts. Warwick Dunn carries, led by Middleton, gets outside and across midfield. Falls forward to the Packers' 47-yard line. And we are winding down to the end of the first quarter. Even matchup so far, but the Bucs on the move, get into Packers territory as we come to the end of the first quarter in the Battle of the Bays. Tampa Bay and Green Bay are scoreless. Now these words and a message from your local Fox station. Where the Green Bay Packers and Tampa Bay Buccaneers are scoreless. Sold out Raymond James Stadium.
Well, you know, the one thing they're trying to do, Tampa Bay, is get this front to move. They bring the tight end over. Here's Moore. He's going to line up over here. That's the strong side. So now Green Bay is going to reset. They get their strong end, Clydius Hunt, over here with the tight end, and they get their 3 technique, Santana Dotson, on the weak side. But that's a game they're going to try to match up because, see, they get them moving, and then they were able to work Warwick Dunn to the perimeter.
Charles Kirby in at fullback for the Bucs on 2nd and 2. It's Allstott carrying for a first down to the Packers 43. Darren Sharper made the tackle. Allstott, as we talked about at the top, learning so many different roles.
Well, he has to, because that's the nature of this offense. But here he's going to get to the perimeter again. And how do they do it? Watch. They're going to pull Randall McDaniel, and he's going to lead the way up in here. Here's Randall. He seals that, and then he's able to rush that ball outside. That's where the Bucs are different this year than they have been in prior years.
And another Packers injury, and that always a cause for concern for Green Bay. Mike McKenzie, the injured Packer, will step out for a moment. The sideline looks like a left knee injury as he's being checked out. He's replaced by second-year man Todd McBride, who was picked up on waivers last season from Seattle.
That's the injury that McKenzie's had problems with. He missed 6 games this year because of that knee injury. And it's actually been the reason for his play. It's been up and down. There he is low in there, and he gets that thing twisted around in there when Kirby lays on top of him.
Allstott is split out wide left. 1st and 10 for the Bucs. Flags go down. Free play for Sean King. Dave Moore with a leaping grab at the 20-yard line. Russell Maryland was offside. That'll be declined.
Offside. Nose guard. Defense. Penalties decline. First down.
22-yard pickup, and Dave Moore looks terrific out there, doesn't he?
Well, of course he does.
Pittsburgh, man.
That's right, from the University of Pittsburgh. I love the way he plays the game. He's a blue-collar type of player, and all he really does is he just appears. He keeps on appearing, and he catches the ball.
Allstott. Split out to the right side. Delay to Warwick Dunn's got a nice hole. Dunn inside the 10-yard line. Leroy Butler tripped him up, otherwise Dunn was going to the end zone.
You mentioned Allstott, and he was lined up outside, and again, this is another way the Buccaneers offense is attacking the perimeter. What he does, he's in motion here. I want you to watch what he does when he comes down and he gets to the linebacker, Nate Wayne. Watch what he does to Nate Wayne here. And this seals the perimeter. Bang! He drives him inside, and there's the gaping hole. This whole Bucs offense has changed from their complexion from what they were last year. It used to be Allstott grinding out tough yards. Now they're finding ways to get outside.
Allstott motions. Dunn carries. Fighting his way close to the 5-yard line. It's goal to go for Tampa Bay, and in the red zone this season, they're 25 for 27 scoring.
And they get you thinking about going outside, and they come back and do what they've been always good at doing, and that's running inside. Look at this line going this way. There's another great block on the linebacker inside, and look at the hole. Keyshawn Johnson got to Nate Wayne. You saw number 19 come down inside, and they're coming with guys outside to get on the linebacker.
Keyshawn in motion, second and goal from the 5. Delay, the play fake. King throws, touchdown, Keyshawn Johnson. Beautiful fake by Sean King, and Keyshawn Johnson with his 4th touchdown in the last 3 games.
It was a great fake by the quarterback, Sean King, but an even better fake by the receiver, Keyshawn Johnson. Keyshawn Johnson went in motion and faked like he was going to block the defensive back. And as the defensive back hunkered down to take on the block, he slipped past him, and the ground was way too much for them to catch up.
Sean King and Keyshawn Johnson are developing a good chemistry right now, Bill. The extra point by Gramatica is good.
Take a look. Watch him hunker down right here on McGarrahan like he's going to block him. Then he leaves him, and it's to the end zone. That was Darren Sharp for the safety. He came out and faked like he was going to block him. Then the separation.
To the game for Sean King. He's 7 for 8, 70-yard drive on which he was 4 for 4 and hit Keyshawn Johnson with a 5-yard touchdown pass.
Well, the reason he's 7 for 8 is because that running game is going so well, and everything he's doing off of it is play action. And he's not put in a situation where he has to be the guy to win for them. He's just another part of the puzzle, and it's working well.
Martin Gramatica kicking off. He dribbles it, onside kick. Gramatica trying to recover, but he missed it. They had the play they wanted, but the Packers recovered. Gramatica, who had been practicing that all week, dribbled it perfectly, but now he comes up holding his arm. He missed the ball. It was there to recover.
See this gap they have here with the defenders? They saw if they could get that gap. If they could get that gap between the defenders, Gramatica talked Tony Dungy into give me a chance. They practiced this, and he says he can do it. Well, he didn't do it.
Scott McGarrahan recovered for Green Bay, and Gramatica is hurting. Flexing his arm, but he seems to be okay. I think his pride was hurt more than his arm when he missed it.
He had to come up with something because it wasn't the ball.
End result, Packers with great field position. Amon Green, nothing there. John Lynch ran him down.
Brought down by number 47, John Lynch.
Just moments ago, Joe Marciano talking to Robbie Abdullah. Boy, was he upset with his special teams guys. He wanted that play, and somebody missed an assignment. He was very upset. Now he's talking with Gramatica.
He probably didn't get the block on McGarrahan was the issue. And you know, when you're special teams coach, you're always tugging on the head coach's shoulder for a chance to run those things. You want to take advantage of them. He's got to be disappointed.
Buck show blitz. The pass is incomplete, intended for Bill Schrader, but trapped it on the ground. Schrader doesn't like the call. The official right there waved it incomplete.
Third down 9.
See the total yardage. The Bucs coming off a 70-yard drive. The Packers have had only 1 yard net rushing. Favre 5 for 10 passing, 41 yards. Here's 3rd and 10 for Green Bay. 3 wide receivers in, 5 defensive backs for the Bucs. Favre incomplete, intended for Bill Schrader.
They missed a heck of an opportunity right there.
Yes, they did.
You know, not on that play, but the whole scenario. You know, you botch an onside kick, and you come back and you recover it, and you're on their 40, and you've got a chance to go in.
3rd punt for Josh Bidwell. Carl Williams is deep. Bidwell kicks it way up in the air. Packers try to surround it. It bounces through the end zone. There is a flag on the play. And we'll check that out.
I think Tampa Bay had 12 guys on the field.
I think you're right. You're 100% right.
I can only count to 15, but I saw 12.
You got the 12.
And I knew that was one too many in football. Now, you thought Marciano was hot before.
Oh, boy.
We'll have to find him again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 1 deep.
Deep man.
1 deep is 12. Oh, you got 1 guy deep, too, as a returner.
12 men on the field. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
It does not give Green Bay a 1st down. Gives them 5 yards. And the ball will be spotted at the 34. And the Packers will now try a field goal. So we'll see here. They change from punting to field goal. Ryan Longwell, 20 for 22 this season. His career long is 51 yards. This will be a 52-yarder. Hasselback the holder. It has the distance, and it is good. So the penalty hurts Tampa Bay as Ryan Longwell connects with a 52-yard field goal. His 21st of the season. From the MetLife Blimp Snoopy 1 under the command of Captains Brian Comer and John Conrad, with help from co-pilot Snoopy, of course. MetLife Blimps travel approximately 200 days a year visiting towns and cities throughout the United States. Ryan Longwell with a career-long 52-yard field goal, putting the Packers on the board, kicks it away. And on the return, Carl Williams slips 1 man but goes down at the 20-yard line. Buck special teams talking to his group. How does it happen, Bill? You get 12 men on the field on a play like that?
Well, we're in Florida. We can't get the count right.
Oh.
No, actually, what it is that you remember they had a guy rushing as a block.
Yes.
When you have someone coming as a block, you can't have 2 people doubled up outside. They had 2 and 2 outside.
Blitz coming. King gets rid of it. It's incomplete. So the Packers looking to blitz Sean King a little bit. It was Darren Sharper coming from his safety position.
Rachel Shelley, call home.
Darren Sharper's role has changed a little bit this year under Ed Donatel.
Well, he's more involved. Yeah, you know, but he's not just a free safety anymore. He's down in the box a lot of times. They invert their safeties. You know, it used to be just for Green Bay, it was only Butler would be down in there. Well, now they drop Sharper down in there, and he's involved with a lot of things. They blitz him in there as well. This time he's in the middle of the field, and they got Leroy up.
Deshaun Johnson in motion. King looking for Keyshawn by himself, fights off Todd McBride, gets a first down up at the 32-yard line. Fourth catch of the game for Keyshawn Johnson, who leads the team with 45.
Well, you got that injury to McKenzie out there, and you're bringing the backup McBride. And King just takes a shot. Hey, I'll just get it out there to Keyshawn fast and let him work his magic on the field. Got a little stiff arm going.
Well, all the talk about him and his loquaciousness, but he seems to have fit in very nicely here, and he and Sean King have something going. On the delay, Warwick Dunn. He's knocked down at the 34-yard line, picked up a couple on the play. Nate Wayne and Todd McBride combined for the stop.
You know, a lot of the reason for the emergence of Dunn is because of this right here. This closes down in here. Everything's closed up inside. Now, Allstott used to be able to pound up in there for 2 or 3. Dunn has the ability to bounce outside and get a few more. That's what he brings to the picture.
And they liken him to a Barry Sanders, well, where he'll get 2, 2, 2, and then he might get 20. With the great speed that he has. Allstott is out to the right side. The play fake. King under pressure throws it away.
King's pass intended for Allstott.
Packers got good pressure inside on Sean King.
You know, Mike Allstott is lined up in a variety of different positions. He's in on every package, but he's something else in every package. He's been a running back 3 times. He's been at a true fullback in front of Dunn 6 times. He's been an H-back in motion. He's been lined up at tight end. He's also lined up all the way outside at wide receiver. Right now, he's in the H-back mode.
3 wide receivers in for the Bucs. On 3rd and 8, pressure on King, dropped it off to Warwick Dunn. Slips one man and goes down at the 34, back to the line of scrimmage, and the Bucs will be forced to punt.
Stopped by Butler.
Leroy Butler in on the tackle.
You know, that's serious, and they came out and they tried to emphasize the pass just a little bit more. You know, throw the ball around, spread it around some, but you know, that last drive they put together on that scoring drive, I thought that was an excellent drive executed down the field. Running the perimeter, mixing up Dunn, mixing in Allstott, and then taking your shot on the play action at the end.
Mark Royals to punt. The last one was a 12-yarder. This one is a good high kick. Allen Rossum waves for a fair catch and takes it at the 21-yard line. And a little after the whistle, pushing and shoving. Matt Snyder and Jeff Gooch are separated. 4.5 seconds hang time on a 45-yard Royals punt. Bucs lead the Packers 7-3.
Special teams. He's a big guy, 270 pounds. He's lined up at a gunner on punt. And the 2 young guys outside, little DB's got a piece of him. They're trying to pin him when he's down. He just picks him up and throws him away. He's the one that had the punt block last week.
Yes.
From inside.
Great special teams player.
Well, you got to be pretty doggone good if you're that big and you're outside as a gunner.
4 wide receivers for the Packers as they start from the 21. Favre gets plenty of time and finds Charles Lee. And the rookie goes down around the 37-yard line. Lee, a rookie out of Central Florida, 7th-round draft pick. And with Corey Bradford out, he gets a chance to play. 16-yard pickup.
First down, Green Bay.
Here's Lee outside here, working on Brian Kelly. And they get like a little kind of a pick route going. It was supposed to be like that. And that's what caused the separation for Lee.
Amon Green cuts it back and gets across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Packers had 6 carries for 1 yard net rushing before that carry.
Well, that's what they always say you have to do when you're playing a fast defense, is get them flowing. And there they go, and then cut it back on him. He sees them, and then the linebacker gets over top, and there's your seam. That's how you got to get the yards on the ground against the Buccaneers defense.
Pickup of 8 on the play. Henderson and Green in the backfield. Nice cutback by Amon Green. He tries to break it. Lynch able to bring him down inside the 25-yard line. Nice run for Amon Green. 30-yard pickup.
First down.
Very quick hitting play into the line. A little belly play into the line. Watch the block here. Frank Winters gets a block here, and then gets up on the backer. And there's the handoff, and there's the seam.
Frank Winters doing it for 14 years. Nice run by Ahman Green. That's one the Packers needed to establish themselves as a threat on the ground.
Well, what they saw that McFarland wasn't in there. James Canada was in there, and they attacked it.
Brett Favre steps back, calls timeout. That was the longest run of the season for Ahman Green. Packers at the Bucs 25.
Whatever that was. Looked like something out of Jetsons.
4 wide receivers, screen pass. Whoa! Nothing there for Ahman Green. Time for an update. Let's go to the Bucs. Ricky was really playing well.
That's going to be a tough one for them to overcome.
Crowd really loud now. Packers 2nd and 10. Damon Parker gets 5. In his first carry, saw his first action of the season last week. They'd been on the physically unable to perform list prior to that.
You know, watch them attack up front. See this wide split here? And that's a natural seam. There's a block there. There's a block there. Frankie Boy Winters gets up on Derek Brooks, and Damon Parker gets outside. You saw the cutback. You attack them into the line of scrimmage and then cut it back.
Frankie Boy Winters, the 14-year veteran. Here's 3rd and 5. Favre drop. Intended for Antonio Freeman. Rondé Barber on the coverage.
Another drop ball and a flag.
Flag down.
I think they said something to the official on the sideline.
Unsportsmanlike. Yeah, unsportsmanlike conduct. Antonio Freeman
knocked the ball out of his hand. He smacked the ball out of the referee's hand.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. 86. Offense. 15-yard penalty. 4th down.
Bad penalty for a leader of the team to take.
Watch right here. He smacks the ball out of his hand.
Terrible. Terrible penalty. Antonio Freeman's got to be one of the leaders on this team, and you can't lead like that.
Ryan Longwell in for the field goal attempt.
What he should be upset about is the drop and the inconsistency in which he was playing instead of any kind of penalty that he was looking for from a defensive back.
53-yard field goal attempt for Ryan Longwell. This one comes up way short and way wide. He made a 52-yarder last time. This one not even close. So the Bucs defense comes up with a big stand after the Packers got down to the 20-yard line. But the penalty taken by Antonio Freeman really hurt his team.
It cost him 3.
Without question, maybe more.
It was, yeah, that cost him 3 right there. And
Or helmet number 3.
that's just totally uncalled for. He's talking to the head linesman who's over on that side, who is responsible for watching the wide receiver, the play of the wide receiver on that side of the field. And he was upset, obviously, something about it, the defensive back, maybe getting a piece of him or carrying him too long or chucking him downfield, and he wanted a call. But the bottom line is he was in position to make that catch and should have made that catch.
So now from the spot of the miss, the 43, the Bucs go on offense. 3 wide receivers in. Warrick Dunn goes outside. Spins across midfield and gets close to a first down.
Well, everybody's getting involved in this perimeter play. Watch Leroy Butler right there. He's right in here. Now, Jaquez Green is going to come down and block him, right? And there is the seam. All the wide receivers are now becoming big blockers for the Buccaneers. When Keyshawn Johnson got down here, it kind of sparked everybody's interest as far as wide receivers blocking.
7 carries, 37 yards for Warrick Dunn. 2nd and 1 for the Bucs. And flags go down. They blow the play dead. Against Tampa Bay.
False start. 64. Offense. 5-yard penalty. remains second down.
On Randall McDaniel, who's playing in his 200th NFL game, 180th consecutive start. Gets the call.
Second down 6 at the 47.
Sean King will get a signal from the sideline. Then he'll look down at the play shot sheet on his wrist. And a lot of times what they'll do is they'll give you a number. They'll just give you a number, and you look down, and then you get the formation. You can read out the formation in the huddle.
Allstott's a tight end to the left side. Gunn straight ahead. First down at the Packers' 42-yard line. Antoine Edwards made the tackle. Nice run. Picked up 11 on the play.
They're attacking the middle. Watch Randall McDaniel right here, number 64. Watch the block he gets. And then just wheels. See him? That's, you know, everyone talks about him being athletic and what he's not a power guy, but when he gets on you, he has that ability to wheel you in a certain direction, and that's when the athleticism comes into play.
7 of 11 carries up the middle. This one goes left, and it's stopped by Cledius Hunt. Good job by the second-year man out of Kentucky State, who's gotten a lot of starting time because of injuries to Vonnie Holliday this season.
Well, he's what they call their power end. And he's going to go to the tight end side normally. And what he's really good at, he's probably a better defensive tackle than he is a defensive end, but because of the injuries, he's forced to play end. But what he's good at is at the point of attack. He's solid at the point of attack, and the point of attack was at him that time, and you saw the outcome.
Allstott out left. 3 wide receivers in the game. King looking deep over the middle of Keyshawn Johnson at the 24-yard line. 5th catch of the game for Keyshawn Johnson. And Sean King finding his man now.
Well, watch what happens. You like to have your linebacker back in zone back here so that Keyshawn Johnson doesn't get into you. But he's going to stay with the back work done, and he comes over here. Now look at the seam in the zone. There was nobody underneath.
Big day for Keyshawn. First down, Bucks at the 24. Warrick Dunn finds the hole, gets inside the 20. Santana Dotson, the one-time Tampa Bay Buccaneer, made the stop. Played 4 years here. We're winding down to the 2-minute warning. The cannons are going off in anticipation of a Bucs score.
That's a 2-minute warning.
They scored earlier on a great drive. They've got a good drive going here. 2-minute warning. Bucs leading 7-3. 6th play of this drive. Good balance by the Bucs. 2nd and 5 from the 19. Everybody out. King lofting for Riddell Anthony. He stayed in bounds. Touchdown. They took advantage of Todd McBride, who's in for the injured Mike McKenzie. Fourth touchdown of the season for Riddell Anthony. And Sean King has really been on target.
We are reviewing the ruling on the field.
Yeah, and you know what they're going to be reviewing? I saw Randall McDaniel downfield like it was a screenplay, and he was way downfield. Watch Randall McDaniel right in here. He's going to end up down here. You can't throw the ball downfield with your lineman down here. Look at Randall McDaniel. He's all the way down there.
But I don't think they can review that, Bill. That's not the reviewable part of it. Now, any
it's
review
a scoring play
in the final 2 minutes comes from upstairs.
Yes.
This is not a challenge, a coach's challenge. This is coming from upstairs.
I'm sure what they are taking a look at is where his feet came down in bounds and if he had possession of the ball. I'm sure if they're looking at anything, they're looking at that. But I saw Randall McDaniel down there. He thought it was a screenplay. He was running out like it was a screenplay. He obviously didn't get the check at the line of scrimmage if it was a check. and they're looking to see if he had possession of the football and 2 feet in.
1, 2. Looks good to me. What do you think?
Well, he got the 2 feet in, but what you need to take a look at is his hands. Is he possessing the ball? See, the ball's kind of out a little bit right there. It looks good. Take a look at the ball.
Reviewing the play. The ruling on the field stand is a touchdown. Both feet inbound with possession.
19-yard touchdown pass. Sean King to Riddell Anthony. And the Bucs, after the missed field goal, start with good field position and travel 57 yards for the touchdown.
You're referring to Antonio Freeman, of course, when you say the missed field goal.
That's right. That hurt the Packers.
Well, you said it when we had it. We said it cost them 3, and you said at that time it could cost them a lot more, and it sure did. That's a 10-point swing.
Sold-out stadium. They now have a waiting list of 10,000 here in Tampa for seats.
Well, you know, you can say what you want about the new stadium, and it's a beautiful stadium, and you can say what you want about the team. This all is attributed to Tony Dungy, because none of this could be made possible unless the product on the field is good, and it's been good the whole entire time he's been here, and I think the guy's just a heck of a coach.
Gramatica to kick off. Last time he tried the onside kick and missed the recovery attempt. And this time he lines it away. Rossum has it go right by him through the end zone for a touchback. And they talk things over. A little exchange of smiles. In the NFC Central Division, Minnesota won today. They are 8-2. Detroit with a win for new coach Gary Moeller, 6-4. Very important game for Tampa Bay and for Green Bay in their playoff hopes. Green Bay's final 4 games of the season will be against division opponents. Chicago losing in Buffalo, 2-8 on the season. They're out of the playoff picture, but certainly can play a spoiler's role. Now the Packers with 1:53 to go in the half. Start from their own 20. Everybody out. Over the middle of Bubba Franks, the tight end, who gets up to the 28-yard line. First-round draft pick Bubba Franks. No huddle for the Pack. Amon Green, the lone setback. Favre out of the shotgun, drops it off to Green, and he's taken down at the 32, but it's a first down for Green Bay. Ronde Barber made the stop.
Now, Green Bay had some spurts. You know, they had some drives. They moved the ball at times. They've been shown that they've been able to run the ball.
Short drop. Bubba Franks slips a man across the 40. Up close to the first down marker. Bubba Franks is 6'6", 260.
And he's a guy that they need. As a matter of fact, they needed him in a hurry. They needed him to be a top-notch player the day they got him.
They go for the run, the first down as Amon Green gets up to the 44-yard line. Packers call timeout. 51 seconds to go in the half. Scores and highlights, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris. And the Fox Sports ticker with up to the second stats. It's all coming up on the Visa Halftime Report.
The drop balls have really killed Green Bay, Sam. They had drives going, and they were trying to make things happen, and then it got to a key situation, and they'd had drop balls.
From the 45, 1 timeout remaining for the Packers. They have Tyrone Davis in as the tight end to the left side. 3 wide receivers. Bucs coming with a blitz. Favre got rid of it a little quickly and incomplete, short of Donald Driver, the intended receiver. Donnie Abraham on the cover.
Yeah, Driver was open too. Brett, that was all on Brett. He just underthrew that ball.
Please reset the game to a third down. Third down.
Referee Jeff Triplett getting things straight as you look at Monty Kiffin, the fine defensive coordinator of the Bucs. Here's 3rd and 7. Have to get to the Bucs 48 for a first down. Drops it off short. Green wasn't looking. Never turned, and that's part of Amon Green not comfortable yet in the passing game. And you see Brett Favre letting him know it.
Well, he wasn't ready, and Sapp was in there quick, too. Watch how fast Warren Sapp is in there. Brett has to get rid of this ball. When you run the draw, watch the pressure. There's the pressure right there, and Amon's just not ready.
That's where Dorsey Levens makes a difference for the Packers. Josh Bidwell with his 3rd punt of the game. Gets it away. Carl Williams at the 17. Right down there is McGarrahan.
Williams on the return.
There's a flag down. 38-yard punt.
Those screenplays are all about timing, as you mentioned. The poor timing. That's you rehearse those and practice those over and over and over again, because no matter whether it's an outside screen or a middle screen, it's all about timing of everybody. The lineman, the backs, the quarterback, and when he released it.
Mike Sherman looking on as the Bucs will be penalized.
Eagles block in the back. 53 receiving team. Half the distance. First down.
Shelton Quarles called for the illegal block in the back. 30 seconds remaining in the first half. Bucs set back to the 7-yard line.
First and 10 at the 7.
Take a knee formation.
And that's what Sean King does. And the time will expire in the first half. Warren Sapp and his defensive cohorts hold the Packers to just 3 points. Sean King goes 11 for 14, 129 yards and 2 touchdowns. Terrific first half for Sean King. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers lead the Green Bay Packers 14-.
Force passes. Now, Brett Favre is going to have to force passes and make something happen. Sean King can rely on his running game and pick and choose when he throws.
Ryan Longwell to kick off to start the second half. Carl Williams from the 3. Trying to cut it outside. And is tripped up as he gets up close to the 25-yard line. Damon Parker on the tackle. First half numbers. The Packers rushing for 47 yards, 30 on one play by Amon Green. Good balance for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the time of possession, slight edge to Tampa Bay. What do you look for here in the second half, Bill?
Well, Green Bay has to sustain drives, and that's what they haven't been able to do in this game. I mean, heck, they were pretty close until that Antonio Freeman mishap. And it cost them the 3 points, and then they got the ball to 46 and drove the field for a touchdown. The only thing they didn't do is sustain drives when they got down inside there.
All start shifting. Warwick Dunn carries behind Frank Middleton, and he's thrown back. Let's go down to the sideline to Chip Carter.
Thanks a lot, Sam. I was just talking to Mike Sherman with the Green Bay Packers about the rhythm that Sean King has had in the first half, and he said what his team needs to do is find a rhythm breaker, somebody to get in King's face and increase the pressure a little bit. He simply had too much time to throw in the first half, Sam.
Thanks very much.
And that's a tough thing to do, too, because if you gamble on the blitz, that's when they were getting the blocks on the safeties coming up.
Alstott out on the slot to the right side. Warwick Dunn the lone setback. And the pass to Alstott across the 30. He's wrestled down there. Darren Sharper, number 42, in on the stop.
You know, you want to try to create some kind of pressure in the face of Sean King. And that would be the natural thing to do defensively when you've seen how much time he has on the passes. So in order to do that, of course, you have to blitz. You can zone blitz and keep some safety help behind you, but sometimes you need that extra body in there. If you're going to bring 4 to a side, to their weak side, so they don't have enough men to pick you up, that's going to cost you one guy out of the secondary.
See, the 2-for-2 of the tight end, that was to Dave Moore in the first half, but he suffered a cut to the face and has not returned. Patrick Hape started the second half. 3 wide receivers in on 3rd down, and they slowly play dead. False start against Tampa Bay.
False start. 79 offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
4th penalty. Now the word from the Bucs locker room, a mild concussion suffered by Dave Moore on this play.
3rd down 9 from the 26.
Well, he catches the ball here, and then he gets racked by Darren Sharper right in the ear hole. Supposedly got a good cut on his face from that, and get the little bird singing in your ear there.
3 wide receivers. Actually, Allstott is out to the left side. Completion to Jaquez Green, but it's short of a 1st down up the 31-yard line. Another key injury in the game was to Mike McKenzie, the cornerback of the Green Bay Packers, suffered a left knee injury, and he will not be back. Sean King limping a little bit as he goes to the sideline.
That time they came with the blitz. They came with Leroy Butler off the slot position. Little zone blitz action, but it was right in the passing lane of King.
Good defensive series for the Packers to start the second half. High punt by Mark Royals. Fair catch waved for. Rossum has it at the 33. 4.6 seconds hang time. Here's what happened to Sean King.
He got his toe stepped on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that can hurt. You get those big 1.5 cleats in your toenail, you'll feel it.
Sean King still treading lightly on that left foot that was stepped on. Now the Packers from their own 33-yard line. First time with possession in the second half. Pressure on Favre. Got rid of it to Bill Schrader. 1st down. Out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Chased out of bounds by Brian Kelly. Bill Schrader's 2nd reception.
1st down Green Bay.
See the Packers going with a no-huddle offense here to start the second half. Got the field goal, missed the field goal on the first 5 possessions of the game.
Well, that's a new little wrinkle they worked on just for this game, in case they got in the situation where it would be all pass.
And that time the pass intended for Schrader was well covered. Pressure from Chidi Ahanatu.
2nd down 10 at the 46.
You know, last year too, when they played Tampa Bay, Green Bay used a little bit of shotgun as well, because when they get in a situation where it's all Brett Favre, they know they're going to blitz them, and they know one of the touchdowns last year was on a John Lynch blitz. And had Brett Favre not been in shotgun, he never would have got the play off, and it never would have been a touchdown.
3 wide receivers inside to Ahman Green. Gets up close to midfield. We've seen pressure on Brett Favre, but yet he has not been sacked by the leading sack team in the league.
Well, they're doing a great job of scheming it. They've mixed just enough run-in, Sam, and the screens to keep that defensive line from pinning their ears back. And they also, if you watch, Brett Favre is getting rid of the ball very quick.
Yes, he is.
It's quick slanting pass, crossing across the middle, and he's getting it off. And he threw that one timing pass on the screen, as you mentioned before. He threw that a little quick. He knows the time he has to throw the ball.
Everybody out. Favre wide open. Donald Driver. He's at the 1st down marker, and he's got the 1st down at the Tampa Bay 43-yard line.
And he's mixing up the snap count on him as well. He's keeping them in check. He had a long snap count. That time he came right out and went on the 1st sound, and they snapped the ball before some of the defensive linemen even got their hands down on the ground.
1st down Green Bay.
Favre throwing. Ahman Green turns it into a good gain, close to the 1st down marker. Rondé Barber took him down. Packers with a good drive here, so this no-huddle offense is working to change the rhythm.
Ahman Green a little slow coming off. He's headed toward the sidelines. That screenplay is devastating to a defense because it gets you out out of character of what you're normally doing, attacking upfield.
Damon Parker in his spot. Spins away out of one tackle, gets down to the 20-yard line. Another Green Bay first down.
Brought down by number 99.
They picked up 12 with Amon Green on the screen. They pick up 11 with a run by Damon Parker.
Green Bay has just increased the tempo of this game. This is a little sugar huddle. They're calling it right at the line of scrimmage there. And then the offensive lineman just turns around and they run the play. It's a quick snap count.
7th play of the drive. First down at the Bucs 20-yard line. Favre dropped it, picks it up, and gets rid of it to Damon Parker. And gets across the 15-yard line.
I'll tell you what it does. It puts Monty Kiffin in a tough situation because you can't see what they're bringing in personnel-wise. They're with one thing, and it's hard for you to get the defensive signal called in there. This is normally a situation that you prepare for with a team you haven't seen done it inside a 2-minute, and you have your inside a 2-minute defense. This is through the regular course of the game.
Now the Packers huddle up. Ball at the 14-yard line. Henderson and Green and Parker in the backfield.
Blitz.
They pick it up. The toss is deflected by Donnie Abraham. Intended for the tight end Tyrone Davis. But Donnie Abraham, who is tied for the league lead with 6 interceptions and keeps all his interception balls, tipped that one away.
Here's Donnie Abraham. He's sitting right over top of the tight end, and Lynch is going to come into the picture on the backside of that, but he gets to that ball at the pinnacle of where it's at. That's going up and deflecting the ball at the maximum for him to jump.
Have to get to the 10-yard line for a first down. Flag goes down. The throw to the corner is batted away by Rondé Barber. It may have been no play. Let's check out the penalty call.
Prior to the snap, false start. 81, offense. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
So that's no play. And they'll do that again. 4th penalty of the game for the Pack.
Third down 10.
Tyrone Davis, who's been very inconsistent, goes to the sideline. Have to get to the 10-yard line for a first down.
Amon Green still hasn't been back since that screen pass when he came off there holding his arm. It's all been all Damon Parker.
Yes. 3 wide receivers in. Henderson and Parker in the backfield with Brett Favre. Bucs have 5 defensive backs. Pressure on Favre. Down he goes. First sack. Warren Sapp. 11.5 sacks on the season for Warren Sapp.
Here's Warren Sapp on the outside, working over Ross Verba. He takes his outside shoulder, works him upfield, and as Verba tries to set, he comes back underneath at the depth of the quarterback.
Field goal try, 42 yards for Ryan Longwell, who hit a 52-yarder earlier. It's on the way, and it's through. The Packers get 3. They had driven to the 15. But then stalled a big sack for Sapp. Hurting on the sideline. They're checking his left ankle as he was taken down by Warren Sapp. He comes up injured.
Looks like his left ankle they're working on, and that's what Sapp grabbed the hold of. That's what he drug him down by, was his ankle.
Longwell kicking off. Carl Williams from the 8. Swings it wide. Trying to pick up some blocks. Does. Good return by Williams. Brought down at the 32-yard line. The first sack of the day on Brett Favre. It's by Warren Sapp as he drags down Brett Favre. And Favre comes up with an injured ankle.
I'm telling his defensive guys, listen, when I take Brett Favre's shoe off, you guys got to pick it up. He doesn't. Watch this. Matt Hasselbeck comes in, the backup quarterback. He picks up his shoe, and he comes over there, and he gives it to Brett. Here's your shoe.
And he's got a sprained ankle on the left side. We'll wait to see if he can return. Meanwhile, Sean King starts from the 32. And his pass knocked down by a blitzing Darren Sharper, who went up and over and made a great play.
That's part of the new responsibilities of Darren Sharper, getting involved more down inside the box. Here's Darren Sharper. He walks down and jumps right in the path. This thing going outside to Jacquez Green on a little smoke pass.
First incompletion for Sean King in the last 6 passes. There's Brett Favre being worked on. And now Sharper, who was upended after he went up in the air, and he's feeling the effects of the block. And a shaky left leg. Oh, boy. Packers have already lost Mike McKenzie, maybe losing Brett Favre. Sharper is having a Pro Bowl type season.
You know, the one thing he hasn't had to do this year that he did last year is he doesn't have to call all the defenses. And he doesn't have to get all the adjustments in the secondary. He's just able to concentrate on lining up and playing.
Kept Randy Moss out of the end zone Monday night. Did a great job on him. But here shaken up, replaced by Antoine Edwards, number 24. 2nd and 10 for the Bucs. Alstott and Dunn in the backfield. The play fake by King. Over the middle, too high, and intercepted by Antoine Edwards. The pass overthrown, the first turnover of the game.
Intercepted by Antoine Edwards. Tackled by Keyshawn Johnson.
I go back, Sam, and I want to restate again about how Mike Sherman has kept the fight in this team. They did not have that fight last year. They've got it back.
13th interception of the season for the Packers.
Because Antoine Edwards, he's in the middle of the field, and that's just an overthrown ball, and he's in the right spot.
Matt Hasselbeck in at quarterback with Brett Favre injured. His 2nd appearance of the season, 2nd pass he's thrown. It goes to Amon Green, and he's out of bounds up at the 48-yard line, the line of scrimmage. Brian Kelly took him out. The ice pack on the left foot of Brett Favre. 2nd-year man Matt Hasselbeck, 25 years old, out of Boston College. Was a 6th-round draft pick of the Packers in 1998. Quarterback in 1 game last season against Minnesota, was 3 for 10 passing, and played briefly September 24th against Arizona. End around. Donald, and the end around is to Allen Rossum, and he is hit hard by Damian Robinson. Rossum in the lineup on offense.
Oh, he's an exciting guy. It's a punt returner, kick returner, and he's lined up on the outside. And here he comes back around on the end around. And that's just another tactic and another way to try to make plays happen. Heck, you know, you're getting guys banged up left and right. Every time you turn around, somebody else is nicked. Now your top gun's gone. You have to find other avenues.
Picked up 16 on the play. Amon Green is back in. Green finds the hole inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
You know, I do have to say that Amon Green, watching him today, has impressed me. I like the way the speed he gets through the hole. You know, he hits up there in the hole and you're thinking, oh, it's going to stop here any second. And he doesn't. Like a dart. He's right through all the red jerseys, picking up yards.
11 carries, 54 yards. On 2nd and 2. Green. Oh, he's hit hard. We've got an update on the Giants and the Rams. JB a break. See the Rams 7 and 2. Giants trying to cut into that lead. Giants also 7 and 2. Right here, 3rd and inches for the Packers. Hasselbeck had trouble with the ball with a snap. He's in trouble. Chased by Sapp. Throws it away.
Good move.
Out of the pocket. And it brings up 4th and inches. But it started with a trouble with the snap.
Yeah, that was going to be a handoff, too. They tried to hand that off, and he couldn't get out from under center.
This crowd really gets into it. Here's the chase. McFarland got there, and finally Hasselbeck threw it away. Packers will go for a field goal, 45-yard attempt. Longwell has made 2, giving him 100 for his NFL career. Hasselbeck the holder. And it's on the way, and it's good. 3 for 4 in the game for Ryan Longwell. 101 in his NFL career. It's 14-9. View of today's action. Since 1987, the MetLife Blimps have flown over 800,000 miles to provide aerial coverage of sporting and special events. Brett Favre still on the sideline, nursing a sore left foot.
And you know that's got to be a serious injury, or Brett Favre would be in this game.
Yeah. Playing in his 137th consecutive game. He made his 135th consecutive start. Ryan Longwell is now qualified for the field goal kicking accuracy statistics, and he is now #1 all time in NFL history. Carl Williams from the 1. Makes the cut upfield and is brought down to the 24-yard line. Antoine Edwards, who had the interception, made the tackle. Well, tonight, it's
never been knocked out of a game. Not that I can remember.
Yeah.
I never remember a Green Bay game when Brett Favre was knocked out and couldn't come back to play.
It's tough to think of that. Sean King on first down, off the hands of Jaquez Green. Todd McBride covering on the play. There you see Brett on the sideline. And not likely that he will return, is the word that we've gotten.
No, and they got the tape off and the shoe off, and they got it propped up with ice. Watch his left leg. It's going to get caught between Warren Sapp and the ground. And that's a lot of weight coming down on that small joint of an ankle.
Allstott's lined up as a tight end to the left. Warwick Dunn is thrown for a loss. Good penetration by the Packers, led by John Theory, number 91, who's one of those hard-working players that has fit in well in Ed Donatell's system.
Yeah, he's really improved his play from the times that I saw him when he was in Chicago. He's really found a home here in this defense, in this one-gap penetrating defense. He's the elephant end. He's normally going to be on the weak side. That time they tried to put Allstott over there as a tight end, and you know, some of these positions are new to Mike Allstott. He couldn't get the block on Theory, and Theory got in the backfield quick.
Allstott's in the slot to the right. They have to get to the 34 for a first down. Packers show blitz. Flags go down. The line moved too soon.
That's what happens when you see when offensive linemen get set in there and they have a long count. It's tough for them to hold their water when they see the blitz is coming. When they see
infraction, defense.
Ooh.
Right nose tackle. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
Against the nose tackle. So that hurts the Pack.
Russell Merlin gets that little flinch there. That's Steve Warren, actually.
Steve Warren, number 95,
yeah.
the rookie out of Nebraska, was called for the infraction. So the ball's moved up to the 28-yard line. 3rd and 6. Allstott's in the slot to the right. 3 wide receivers in. Everybody out. King being pressured, gets away. There's a flag on the play. Sean King gets up close to the first down marker, but there's a holding called against Tampa Bay. I believe the center, Jeff Christie, is the man who was called on it.
Holding. 62. Up it. 10-yard penalty. Remains third down.
The center.
Well, they only rushed 3 down linemen, and Christie has a guy over his nose. And what was actually happened was Warren had his hand up in the face mask of Christie. It looked like he was pulling his helmet off.
King on the run. Got up to the first down marker. And that gain negated. Back to the 18-yard line. Have to get to the 34 for a first down.
So one thing Jeff Christie has problems with is that bull rush right over his nose.
King almost intercepted. Todd McBride stepped in front of Mike Allstott to knock it away, and a good defensive series for the Pack.
Allstott has been lined up. He's been the Dave Moore
4th and 16.
since Dave Moore's been out with that concussion. He's had to play the tight end position.
Received number 20, Alan Rossum.
So now you can sense a little change to the momentum of this game.
Tampa Bay got away from what they do well, and that's run the ball. They came out that series and it was all passes.
Royals kick, Alan Rossum at the 34. On the return, breaks a tackle, down the sideline. Royals bumps him out of bounds. Good return for Alan Rossum to the Bucs 34, and the Packers are in great shape here.
Alan Rossum heads to the sidelines, takes it up the stretch. Watch the official. He falls down over here, and then he just cuddles.
Over the last 4 seasons, the Tampa Buccaneers defense has been right up there, #1 in points given up, opposition yardage, opposition pass yardage. They've given up 3 field goals in the game today.
That's been over the last 4 years, and that's carried over. This is being the 5th year, and they'll end up around there as well. That's amazing that a group can be that good that long.
Amon Green on the first down carry fights his way across the 30-yard line. Good job by Amon Green.
You know, the one thing about that defense, you know, talk about that group, it's amazing. They do it all through the draft. You know, they don't go out and get a bunch of guys and bring this guy in for that. And I don't think anybody on their defense has played for somebody else
in regular season.
Yeah, and not as a starter. They're all their own guys, and that's quite a credit to the organization and the people that draft.
The pitch to Amon Green. Quarles was right there. Oh, the Bucs had that one sniffed out. Shelton Quarles throwing Amon Green for a big loss.
Shelton Quarles down the bottom of your screen right here, number 53. Tackle for -7 yards. Look at Sapp. Sapp saying, yep, that's us. Yeah, they're the guys that are talking about us right now. That's our defense. And they got. I don't know if you can take any unit, an offensive unit, a special teams unit, a defensive unit, that has been that good for that long a period of time.
John Lynch limped off for Tampa Bay, replaced by Dexter Jackson. Hasselbeck throwing for Schrader. He's out of bounds.
Sapp was all over Hasselbeck, and Hasselbeck just a little much on that.
There's John Lynch. He limped off the play before. Looks like he wants to go back on.
This can't happen. I can't watch a game and see Brett Favre and John Lynch come out of the game. Not both of them.
2 of the strongest players and toughest players around.
Both of them. Both those guys are like Buddy Lee. I mean, they're just tough guys. They don't come out of games.
Bidwell the punt. Kicking it high, way up there, giving the Packers time to get down. And they will down it at the 6-yard line. Excellent punt by Josh Bidwell. 4.7 seconds hang time. A 30-yard punt, but it pins the Bucs back deep in their own territory. Next week, suffered a broken ankle. Bucs from the 6. Dave Moore is back in for Tampa Bay at a tight left end. The handoff inside to Allstott gets up to the 10-yard line.
Well, while he was out, they had to move Allstott to tight end. And they were down. Now they're pinned down in their territory. And remember how they come out of their territory. They get Allstott in the backfield, and they needed Dave Moore back in there. So they got the 2 tight ends with Hape and Moore, and they'll pound you with Allstott.
He had his bell rung. They said he had suffered a mild concussion. He was a factor, caught 2 passes in the first half. Keyshawn Johnson in motion. Packers come with a blitz. And Allstott is dropped for a loss. Good job inside. Santana Dotson. Darren Sharper with the blitz. And Sharper, who was injured earlier, comes up with this play.
Yeah, they didn't have the snap count or something was funny about this, because there's some guys that the ball was snapped and there's people in these gaps and the offensive line never got out of their stance. There was Green Bay Packers through their gaps before some of the guys had even moved. Definitely a miscommunication in the snap count.
Allstott has gone to the sideline. Two tight ends are in, Haight and Moore. Warwick Dunn the lone setback. King feels pressure deep down the sideline, way out of bounds. Jaquez Green was the closest man to it. 3 and out for the Bucs, and the Packers defense doing a terrific job.
Well, the field position certainly has swung this half to the Green Bay Packers. Now, they've been banged up. They had that nice opening drive with Ahman Green running the ball all over the place, and Brett Favre, they got a field goal off of that. And then since then, they've struggled since taking the field.
Mark Royals kicks it away. Rawson backs up to his 39. And able to struggle his way up to the 48-yard line. In the first half, Sean King was 11 of 14. Here in the second, 2 of 7. A big difference.
I think the difference in the play calling. You know, they're making him pass the ball instead of doing what they did so well the first half, which was run. Now the play action works for them. You pick your spots. Now I know they're trying to play the game with the safeties down there. When they get the safeties down inside and they're bunching up against you, you try to throw. But see, they're ready for it. The Green Bay Packers are getting pressure on them.
We are winding down the final seconds of the third quarter. 7 seconds remaining. The Packers still in this game. Matt Hasselbeck is at quarterback with Brett Favre on the sideline with an injured left foot. Hasselbeck on first down for Schrader. And he's out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Nice pass, nice grab in stride by Bill Schrader.
Billy Schrader did an excellent job of getting outside Donnie Abraham. Now he knew he was going to get some safety help over the top. As we see Brett Favre, he's gone.
Brett Favre to the locker room, but the Packers aren't done. They are in this game. They scored 6 points in the third quarter, and at the end of the third quarter, it's 14-9. Fox crew here in Tampa as we get set to start the fourth quarter. And the Green Bay Packers down 14-9. First down at the Tampa Bay 31-yard line. With Matt Hasselbeck at quarterback. Handing to Ahman Green, led by Henderson around the left side. Gets down to about the 26-yard line. John Lynch is back in for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's good news for the Bucs defense. There's John.
Second down 5 at the 26.
Very important series here. The momentum with the Packers. Their defense has helped turn this game around. Bubba Franks in motion. Everybody out. Hasselbeck to Franks. He dropped it. Shelton Quarles and Jamie Duncan were around Bubba Franks.
Yeah, that puts him in that 3rd and 9 situation, or 3rd and 8, and that's just been tough. That's where they battle. That's the 4th drop ball of the day, and that adds to that long list of drop balls for Green Bay. They lead the league, the National Football League, in drop balls, and I said it earlier, they're just not good enough to overcome those drop balls anymore. They need, when they get their hands on the ball, they need to make those receptions.
Two tight ends in. They have to get to the 21 for a first down. Hasselbeck through the hands of Tyrone Davis.
Make that 5.
That was a tough one, though, Bill.
It was tough. It was catchable. That's what you get paid for. If your hand, the rule of thumb is if the ball hits your hands, you should catch it. And that ball hit him square in the hands.
Yeah. So now Ryan Longwell who, as of this moment, is the NFL's all-time accuracy leader with over 85% field goals made. Another 45-yard attempt. And it's a fake. Hasselbeck throwing. Caught by Bubba Franks. Touchdown.
I was just about to say, number 11, the quarterback, is the holder here. Be careful. It's a good area of the field to take a shot, and it paid off for the Pack.
First NFL touchdown for Bubba Franks, and that time he did hold on. And the Green Bay Packers have taken the lead.
And it quieted this crowd.
Yes, they have.
At Raymond James Stadium. They're in shock. They have no idea what just hit them.
And
I don't think
the
Marciano
Packers
knows what's hit him either. Look on his
Special
face.
teams coaches in shock. Packers going for 2. With Amon Green in the backfield. Hasselbeck being chased. Throws it up in the air, and it'll be incomplete. The conversion try is no good. The Packers, though, have the lead. The field goal fake. Hasselbeck to Bubba Franks. And the Packers lead 15-14. Big play by the rookie, Bubba Franks. Back in Tampa, Ryan Longwell to kick off. Riedel Anthony and Carl Williams get together. Anthony takes it. Breaks through a hole and is brought down up the 27-yard line.
Riedel Anthony on the return.
You know, we've seen so much this year of special teams play. A lot of fakes going on, you know, around the league. And I think teams have finally figured out that you need to use them in a different way. There's so much parity in this league, offensively and defensively, that with a salary cap and free agency, you're only able to do so many things, and everybody's pretty even. So a lot of teams are using their special teams as another avenue for scoring.
And you've seen a tough day for the Tampa Bay special teams. The Bucs offensively in the second half have 10 yards total and no yards rushing.
They got away from it. They abandoned the running game.
Warwick Dunn, the lone setback. King throwing on first down. Swings it out to Dunn. Gets a first down. Nice play by Warwick Dunn. That's the man they want to get the ball to. They did. Nate Wayne took him down at the 40-yard line. First down for the Bucs.
You know, Nate Wayne has a tough job on that responsibility. Earlier, you know, if he doesn't get depth in his coverage, he's giving up the middle of the field on the zone. And at the same time, they got that flare control. Who are you going to send outside when they throw the ball to the flat?
3 wide receivers in for the Bucs. Dave Moore, tight end to the left side. Dunn cuts it back and is hit hard by Nate Wayne after a short pickup. And a little after the whistle stuff down at the bottom.
Gain of 2. Second down, 8 at the 42.
Frank Middleton getting up. A big offensive guard. Picked up a little over a yard on the play. George Hegeman, number 79, is in at left tackle for Pete Pearson. 3 wide receivers in. Keyshawn Johnson in motion. King to Dave Moore. His 3rd catch out of bounds at the 48-yard line.
To number 83, Dave Moore.
No Mike Allstott at all the last few plays for Tampa Bay.
I'll tell you what, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have really, really worked at confusing Nate Wayne. And Nate Wayne, to his credit, is holding up. Everything that they try to do, he's got the tight end, he's got to drop in the zone and get coverage, then he's got flare control outside, and he's got to run out with the back. They're playing games with Nate Wayne, the weak side linebacker, and they're getting yards off of it.
Again, 3 wide receivers on 3rd and 2. Fakes the handoff. King under pressure, gets away from Santana Dotson. Goes for the first down and more. inside the 40-yard line. Fine run by Sean King. Finally brought down by John Theory, but the crowd erupts on the first down run.
Well, you talked about Sean King being a weapon today, Sam, especially in the first half with his passing ability off the play action. But this is another factor that they haven't had in the past. That he can keep gaining yards when everything breaks down around him and you get out of your rush lanes.
Patrick Hape in motion. Blitz coming. Warwick Dunn slips one man. Nate Wayne grabs on, and it's a short pickup for Warwick Dunn down to the 36.
Nate Wayne's been all over the place. He's been all over the field. He's been inside. He's been outside. He's been chasing backs out in the flat.
Playing in place of the injured Brian Williams, came over from Denver, where Ed Donatel knew him in Denver and liked him a lot.
Well, he knew the system, too. And if you're going to come in and put in a new defensive system, you want some guys that are accustomed to it. Lean on somebody you can lean on. Because you're talking foreign to a bunch of new guys. You want someone to say, yeah, coach, I understand.
Green in motion. Everybody out. And the pass intended for Patrick Hape is through his hands. Time for another update. And Terry is...
Hey, Terry, what happened? What did JB take off or what? You're doing a great job, though. We love you. I love hearing it.
Hey, sexiest anchor person.
That was a fabricated issue.
No. Sean King out of the shotgun. For Riedel Anthony, trapped it. Incomplete. Todd McBride covering on the play.
Knows that that ball hits grass.
And Gramatica's coming on to attempt a field goal.
That's a short hopper.
Number 7, Martin Gramatica in for the field goal attempt.
This will be a long one. Of 54 yards. He kicked one earlier this season at 55. Royals the holder. It's on the way. It's got the distance. It is good. Gramatica has hit his last 11 in a row, and this one is a big one. This is a full moon over Tampa, and Martin Gramatica.
Is he yelling because he's happy, or is it the bear hug?
And he kicks off. Low line drive. Rossum in the end zone decides to down it, and that's a good move. 10:04 to go, fourth quarter, as we go back and forth, and the Bucs leading 17-15.
Look at it.
He's howling at the moon.
He may know where Mulder's at. It's amazing how quick that injury he had got better.
Yes. Listen to this crowd.
Definitely.
Hasselbeck at quarterback. Brett Favre injured in the third quarter. Completes it to Antonio Freeman, who's been, hadn't even thrown to him since that penalty earlier in the game that he took for unsportsmanlike conduct. That's his third reception, but he's been real quiet.
Well, they really need to rely on him now to get open and to get open quickly, because right now it's all about the passing game.
Pickup of 7 on the play. The leading sack team in the league, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, have had only 1 in the game. Fake the end around. Amon Green. First down as he's tripped up at the 35 by Donnie Abraham.
Tackled by Abraham.
Nice block by the fullback, Henderson. He's the lead back right here on this block. Watch him come inside here, and he leads this way. He gets the steal on Lynch, and there's the seam. I don't even think Lynch actually knew it, because he was looking at Antonio Freeman. Wasn't quite sure as if whether that was a block and a handoff or if it actually was a reverse.
Good blocking by Henderson. Amon Green, 16 carries, 65 yards. On first down, the pump fake, in trouble. Hasselbeck dumps it off. Great alert play by Matt Hasselbeck. Did they take it away? The Bucs said they took it away.
There's no ruling
officials
yet.
talking it over.
They made a ruling, and you know, I would challenge this if I don't think the officials were in a position to see, but I believe he was down his knee was down when this ball came out. Now this is unbelievable pursuit by Tampa Bay. They come on the blitz first.
The ball popped out. Al Singleton picked it up. Or Al Singleton forced the fumble.
Yeah, he's the one that got the strip on that thing. He was chasing that thing down from the backside.
Well, no challenge.
There was Buck defenders flying all over the field, and they never gave up. Relentless.
Turnover to Tampa Bay on the fumble by Ahman Green at the Packers 38. King waiting for someone to come open. To the sideline, Jaquez Green. Flag down on the play.
I got to tell you, Sam, I just think they made a mistake by not challenging that play. That was a big play in the game. And the field position is going to swing, and the momentum and the crowd here. I mean, when you challenge a play, there's a number of things you can find. One might be that face mask right there by Warren Sapp. But take a close look, and when the ball is stripped, when he's going down, and that ball is out. I think it would be worth the review. You never know what they could find in the thing.
Santana Dotson, as this discussion goes on, Santana Dotson has been helped to the sideline, limping off. Yet another injury for the Green Bay Packers. The penalty is against the Bucs.
Illegal touching of a forward pass. Offense. The wide receiver.
He's out of bounds.
He went out of bounds and did not reestablish inbounds. Correction, didn't reestablish inbounds.
What was the first to touch it?
The pass.
Right.
5 yards.
Here's the receiver right here. And what's going to happen is he is going to step out of bounds right there. Now, when he is out of bounds right there, he cannot be the first to catch a ball when he comes back inbounds. And I'm not even so sure if that was caught in the field of play, to be honest with you.
Now the toes were against the sideline. Packers thought it was incomplete to begin with.
5-yard penalty. Illegal touching. It'll still be first down.
All right, so the Packers want to push the Bucs back and it'll be 1st and 15.
This has been a crazy game. A lot of stuff happening.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
1st and 15.
Billy Lyon, number 98, has replaced Santana Dotson at defensive tackle for the Packers, as Dotson gets his left ankle checked out. Out of the shotgun, 3 wide receivers in for Tampa Bay. Jaquez Green on the catch at the 38-yard line.
King's pass complete to
You know, Steve Warren's been in a lot as well. Russell Merlin hasn't been in for some time. Steve Warren has been taking most of the snaps at defensive tackle.
Warren, the rookie out of Nebraska, 3rd-round draft pick. And the defense has done a good job. Have held the Bucs to just 3 points here in the second half. 3 wide receivers in again for the Bucs. 5 defensive backs for Green Bay. Keyshawn Johnson in motion. King to Johnson. Diving grab at the 31-yard line.
Really a great adjustment by Keyshawn Johnson. Ball was thrown low and out in front of him. And watch number 19 adjust to the ball. He sees it's down low, and he goes and lays out.
Gain of 6.
Makes a nice grab right there.
His first catch of the second half after 5 in the first half, including a touchdown catch. Have to get to the 28 for a first down. Dave Moore in motion. And they stop the play.
There's a challenge. There's a red flag
thrown out.
Yeah, and what they're going to challenge, see, that ball that Keyshawn Johnson caught, and kind of when he came down on the ground, that ball was loose and rolled around a little bit. And Mike Sherman wants to take a look at that catch.
Green Bay is challenging the ruling on the field that it is a completion.
Watch the ball when Keyshawn Johnson turns over. He's still trying to gain possession of it. Down. Now watch, it's loose, and see it?
Oh, yeah. I think he's got a good case there.
He did a nice job of covering it back up as quickly as possible, too. Look. That's a crafty receiver.
Todd McBride has been filling in for Mike McKenzie, who suffered a leg injury, we believe a knee injury in the first half. You joined us late. Brett Favre knocked out of the game with an ankle injury. There you see Keyshawn trying to control the ball, possession and control here.
Well, when it hits the ground, you have to maintain control. That's the key thing, and that's the new rule that was put in for the Burt Emanuel catch. And, you know, the Buccaneers up in the NFC Championship game, that when you go down and you hit the ground as a receiver catching the ball, it's okay if that ball makes contact with the ground, as long as when you come up from the ground, you still maintain control of it. Keyshawn Johnson doesn't maintain control of the ball after it hits the ground.
Mike Sherman, first-year head coach of the Green Bay Packers, looking for his first challenge win. 7:08 to go, fourth quarter. Jeff Triplett, the referee, looking at the replays. The Packers with a big second half comeback. The fake field goal and touchdown pass thrown by Matt Hasselbeck gave them the lead briefly. And then the 54-yard field goal by Martin Gramatica put Tampa Bay back in the lead. Now the discussion upstairs. He stopped looking. I think now they're checking out yardage.
Yeah, where they would spot the ball.
Meanwhile, on the sideline, Santana Dotson's left ankle being taped up after he limped off. The Packers have just been ravaged by injuries, and yet, as we mentioned earlier, they have kept fighting, kept competing, and not dwelled on the injuries. And here comes the ruling from referee Jeff Triplett.
After reviewing the play, the ball hit the ground, not in possession. It is an incomplete pass. It will be third down on the 38-yard line. Reset the game clock to 7:40. Green Bay is not charged a timeout.
So the clock moves back. Incomplete pass. It brings up 3rd and 10 for Tampa Bay at the 38-yard line.
Nice job by the Green Bay Packers coaching staff of identifying that, seeing it, and getting that challenge called before the snap went off for the next play.
So here is a very important third down play. Santana Dotson back in for the Packers. Tampa Bay 1 for 6 on third down tries in the second half. Have 4 wide receivers in. Everybody out. King has the time, now being rushed. Gets away from Warren. Still in trouble. Running for it. Knocked down by Nate Wayne at the 32. Short of a first down.
Well, that was a heck of a job of King trying to scrim run. There's some good defensive coverage downfield. There is nobody open, and that's why the pressure got the King, and he had to make something happen. But that 6 or 7 yards that he picked up through that scramble, although he ran about 20, may have been enough for Martin Gramatica. I don't believe it would have been if spot was back at the 39.
51-yard try for Gramatica. It's on the way. It has the distance, and it's good.
He's 2 for 2, and both from over 50 yards. The Bucs lead is 5 points as Martin Gramatica has now hit his last 12. Blimp contains 68,000 cubic feet of helium and measures 130 feet in length from nose to tail. Gramatica kicks off. Rossum at the 1. Bowled over. Ronde Barber hit him and knocked him down. Let's go back to the Fox Television Center. Thanks, Terry.
You know, Terry's got all those marriage jokes now lately, huh? You notice that? I've heard him on the pregame show a lot. He's throwing them out left and right.
Crowd is really loud. Hasselbeck almost intercepted. Threw it behind Donald Driver. And Donnie Abraham, who has 6 picks, knocked it down. A turnover as Amon Green coughed up the football, and the Bucs turned it into 3 points. They lead the NFL in points off of turnovers. It's now 86 as Martin Gramatica kicked the 51-yard field goal. Packers with 4 wide receivers in.
Shotgun.
Blitz coming. They pick it up. Hasselbeck looking and completing to Antonio Freeman up at the 35-yard line, a first down. Good play by Hasselbeck, a 16-yard pickup.
And they were using the shotgun a little bit too, Sam, because they know that blitz is going to come, and it's going to give them a little bit more time to pick it up, and also more time for Hasselbeck to see the rest of the field. Antonio Freeman that time did a nice job of working his way back to the quarterback. A lot of guys stand there sometimes and just stand there and say, here, throw to me, and then defenders break on it and bat the ball away. Antonio Freeman worked back to the ball.
4 wide receivers again for Green Bay. Amon Green in the backfield with Matt Hasselbeck. Everybody out. Dumps it off to Amon Green, incomplete, and the flag on the play. Holding against the Packers.
Holding, 62, offense. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's on Marco Rivera.
Well, that's where all the pressure's coming inside. Booger McFarland. There's Rivera right here. See the hand he has up in there, and then the one across the front of him.
Packers offensive line has done a great job today.
Sam, the 2 guys that have really done an outstanding job are the 2 rookie tackles. Mark Dowsers was played outstanding against Chidi Ahanotu. And also Chad Clifton. He's done a pretty nice job against Marcus Jones. Coming into this game, 2 rookies going against Marcus Jones.
On first down, Hasselbeck throwing and overthrows Donald Driver. And got knocked down after he released. Martin Gramatica keeping that intensity along the bench, and a little prayer as well. Maybe a little thank you for the 2 long field goals he made.
He had a double blessing going there. Not just one, he got 2 blessings going there. Got a lot to be thankful for with those 2 50-yard plus field goals.
First extensive playing time for Matt Hasselbeck this season, out of the shotgun. Dumps it off too far for Amon Green. And Hasselbeck hit again after he threw, this time by Warren Sapp.
Well, they're trying to get a little screen going here. They get the ball outside, and just as he lets go, Warren Sapp's there to pick him up, and that's part of the problem with the screen, and you see all the timing is way off on the screen pass. Amon Green doesn't get outside where he should be, and then Hasselbeck has to try to find him, and that made him keep the ball a little too long, and then Sapp got him.
Hasselbeck's backup is Danny Werfel. With Brett Favre out, he's gone to the locker room with an ankle injury. They have Favre out, he's gone to the locker room with an ankle injury.
They have to get to the 45 for a first down. Sapp almost got him. Completes to Amon Green. Brought down at the 34. Derek Brooks with a tackle on Amon Green. And the Packers are forced to punt. Sapp and the defense head off to the cheers of the crowd.
Well, as well he should. And he's had a tough day inside there in the trenches. They've been sliding protection his way. Frankie Winter's been going over to help out the guard. But it was the one play that he made on Brett Favre that's changed the course of this game.
Josh Bidwell. A little pressure. Gets away a good kick. Fair catch called for by Carl Williams at the 26-yard line. 4:36 remaining in the fourth quarter. The Bucs were coming at Josh Bidwell, but he got it away. A 40-yard punt.
End up 12 times at tight end, and that's really when Dave Moore was out. But his role right now is a 4-minute back.
So then two tight ends, two fullbacks in there. Charles Kirby leading the way for Allstott. And he actually is the running back. He gets to the 29. How are the Giants and the Rams doing? Let's go to Terry Bradshaw.
All right. The Rams love to play high-scoring games, don't they?
They've got the offense to do it. And heck, why not? You've got those guys. Just keep chucking it.
Allstott and Kirby in the backfield. Hape and Moore, the tight ends. Allstott behind Middleton. Good game. First down. And the Bucs needed that. Good blocking up front.
No, this is an area before Allstott had gotten in trouble with the fumbles and crucial situations. Really been cognizant of maintaining the ball, because what he does is he's always twisting his body and turning and trying to get another yard. You saw when he was coming through there, he put two hands over the ball and covered up as soon as he got in traffic. His teammates, Tony Dungy told his teammates during practice, if you knock the ball out of Allstott's hands during practice, you get $50. So that's what he has to contend with every day.
There he goes again. Not much of a hole, but he fights his way up to the 40-yard line. Picked up 3 on the play. Cledius Hunt made the tackle. Under 3 minutes remaining. Both teams have all their timeouts.
And what a luxury to have a guy like Allstott that you can do so many things with. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can block for you as a fullback. And when it comes 4-minute time, he can grind it out for you.
Used one of their timeouts. As the Bucs will have a second down and 7 at the 40-yard line. Allstott behind Middleton. He's tripped up. Picked up about half a yard on the play, and the Packers stop the clock again.
Green Bay, their second charge timeout. A 30-second timeout.
A big third down play coming. And a big night on Fox, because it's a night of surprises with the Simpsons' new surprise get. Still looking for Mulder, huh?
They're always looking for that guy. Aren't they? Every episode, something always happens to Mulder, doesn't it?
Always. So, a big third down coming for the Bucs. 2 for 9 on the game. They've got to get to the 47-yard line for a first down. Kirby and Allstott in the backfield. Keyshawn in motion. 2 tight ends. Play fake end around Keyshawn Johnson. Tripped up. Good tackle on the play by Niall Diggs.
Timeout.
The rookie out of Ohio State has done a great job.
Charge team timeout.
4th round pick, and he gets up limping.
Everybody for the Green Bay Packers has gotten up limping today, it sounds like.
He has stepped in as a starter from day one. He's done a great job.
Really fits in well playing over the tight end, too. And a 4th round pick. A guy that, you know, Ron Wolf tabbed him as a 4th round. And when you can get a starter coming out of the 4th round, you're doing pretty good.
Oh, that's
And Ron Wolf's always been good at that, picking guys. Heck, he has a 7th rounder starting for him at right tackle in the Tausch, man. You know?
Mark Tauscher.
And there's a lot of young guys this team has, and it's a transition period for the Packers. And it's a tough one to go through when you've been on top for so long. But the one thing they'll keep going back to is Mike Sherman has these guys battling.
Royals' 6th punt of the game. Gets it away. Rossum. Fair catch way forth, the 22-yard line.
Fair catch by Rossum.
2:29 remaining in the second half. Earlier today around the league, Dante Culpepper threw for 302 yards as Minnesota beat Arizona. Troy Aikman in a Dallas win over Cincinnati threw for 308 yards. And Jeff Blake leading New Orleans to their 6th straight win as they beat Carolina. Great job by Jim Haslett and the Saints. 7-3. Now the Packers from the 20-yard line with 2:29 to go. Hasselbeck out of the shotgun. Going short to Donald Driver. Wrestled around by Rondé Barber and thrown down at the 25.
Donald Driver. Brought down by number 20, Rondé Barber.
Packers out of all their timeouts.
And going no huddle.
Second down for 26.
Hasselbeck outside to Bill Schrader, trying to get to the sideline. Short of a first down, hit hard as he went out of bounds by Derek Brooks. Nobody hits harder than Derek Brooks.
Knocked out of bounds by Brooks.
That's a 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers leading the Green Bay Packers 20-15. Hasselbeck throwing to Bubba Franks. It's knocked loose. Incomplete. Shelton Quarles with a big hit on Bubba Franks.
Well, the ball was there. It was delivered. They had pressure up the middle, right on top of Hasselbeck. He got this ball off quick. Just as he gets it off, Steve White hits him. You got to make those catches, Sam. That's number 6 or 7 on the night for the Packers.
And the Packers have to go for it. 4th and 1. They are out of timeouts. They are 4 for 5 on 4th down tries this season. Hasselbeck throws. It was tipped. It's incomplete.
They had one read on that. He threw the ball to Bubba Franks. Never looked anywhere else across the field. There was 2 guys on Bubba Franks as he threw that ball.
And the Bucs defense comes up big when they needed it the most. The Packers cannot stop the clock. They are out of timeouts. And the Bucs are going to come away with a hard-fought victory in this one over the Green Bay Packers.
Well, I'll tell you, hats off to Green Bay for keeping it this close.
Great second half.
They played outstanding defensively. They held the Buccaneers to 20 points, and that in itself, I believe, is a credit. They've been ravaged by injuries both on offensively and defensively and just kept plugging along.
And they had to play a good portion of the second half without Brett Favre trying to come back. And after the conclusion of this game, we're going to send you up to Giant Stadium in New York where the Rams and Giants are battling. And that game in the 4th quarter with the Rams leading. That has been some offensive battle. Here, the Bucs looking for their 3rd win to go 6-4. The Packers will go to 4-6. The Packers will be home to Indianapolis next week. Tampa Bay will be at Chicago. These are updated standings as we have put the win in the Tampa Bay column. And this is what the NFC Central looks like as they jockey for playoff position. And the race starts to pick up.
It's going to start getting close, and this is where they want to get better down the stretch. And they took a step towards that today. Tony Dungy says it's not about right now. We want to start picking up momentum December 1st and start hitting the peak as we get to the playoff. They took a step today, and offensively they had some nice rhythm at times.
So that's it.
Today's game produced by Mike Burks, directed by Andy Kindle, Associate Director Rich Dewey, Broadcast Associate Tom Yohe, the technical producer David Graham, studio show produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy, senior producer of Fox Sports Bill Brown, executive producers of Fox Sports Ed Gorin and David Hill, our statistician Emmett McGuire, spotter Gary Lynn, and the final score here in Tampa. The Bucs hold on and beat the Green Bay Packers 20-15. For Bill Moss, this is Sam Rosen.